I'm not sure if they quite like you. Manojji, for the purposes of this conversation, I've got to ask your permission for something. I might have to call you Manoj, just so we can keep it a little bit,
Manoj, Manoj
a little bit casual and conversational.
No, because I feel very old.
Well, first of all, thank you for being here and welcome. I must first congratulate you on another incredible performance. Some of us from the embassy had the opportunity to watch the Fable on Friday. We were all spellbound. Your performance, as always, goes well beyond the realm of technical finesse. You have this talent for really inhabiting your characters. You become them and you make us believe that you are them. And you communicate so much with such few words and so much subtlety. But I was thinking about it ahead of our conversation, and I think what makes you really unique as an actor is, whether you're playing a politician, or you're playing a dacoit, or you're playing a winged man, you are able to almost say to the audience, listen, the world that I'm going to take you into might be a bit bizarre, it might be a little bit different to what you're used to, but take my hand and trust that I'll guide you through it. And we are able to do that. That's why you're so convincing. So many, many, many congratulations on another wonderful film and 30 years of working in cinema.
It's unbelievable, right? It's unbelievable because, as you all know, that all film industries, India is one country which has many film industries, right? There's Hindi film industry, there's Telugu film industry, there's Tamil film industry, there's Malayalam film industry, there's Kannada film industry, there's Bengali film industry, there's Gujarati film industries. You know what a fantastic country that India is. But all said and done, when you're talking about just kind of reading my bio, I was feeling a little emotional there because now, whenever my bio is read out, I feel emotional when my parents are no more. Earlier, it was all matter of fact, but now it's all so emotional for me because when you talk about the journey, I think about my time as a child in the village. I think about the villagers, the friends of mine who are in the village. And when I go back, I see them with their children all grown up. And I'm in Mumbai, I'm in Berlin, I'm in Cannes, I'm in USA. But when I look at their faces and I say, what pure souls are these, right? And without parents, when your journey is being talked about, you feel incomplete. You feel that, with all the compliments that Trisha was reading about me, I felt there is something which is incomplete there. But that's life. That's the cycle of life, and this is where an artist take an inspiration from. This is where he's affected as a person, and he turns it into creativity, right? Sorry, I just got. Can you please come? I'm like that. So
No, that, like I said, we want to keep this conversational and casual. Yeah. But you know what you said, that is life, but that's also really our human need to keep growing and to keep aspiring. But before we talk about the work that you do now and what your aspirations are now, I want to take you back to that child in Bihar, in a small village. Where did the drive to go into acting or the desire to go into acting come from? How was it born?
Destiny. I mean, I was talking to one journalist, veteran journalist, Trisha, and every time, I feel that every time they talk about how it all happened, I can always take the credit of saying that, I was very clear from my childhood. I was very clear. I was, I just wanted to do it. I was determined. The moment I start saying all of this, there's a lot of ego that is coming into that. And I want to avoid that. All I would say, God has given me a destiny to go on a long journey, Pratap sir. But also, God has given me a determination and stubbornness with it. Without that, that village boy could not take that kind of a long journey. So in all of it, there is a God present there. In all of it, there is a divine intervention that is always going on. I'm very sorry I'm talking like this, but I personally, Trisha, I can't take the credit. I always feel that it's not only me who was enamored by this whole experience of reciting a poem on a stage like this, where all the school children were there at the age of 8, and I heard the applause, and I was a quiet, shy, a boy who was quite complex. I found my expression on stage, and as I was getting down, the applause, that gave me a sense of freedom. When I was on stage reciting the poem, I felt that voice. I felt a freedom to express myself, and that was the time I felt that this is it. This is what I want to do. This is where I want to go. But to start the journey from that place to Delhi was a long one.
And I imagine it took a lot of courage and a lot of faith in yourself as an actor.
Just imagine those days the roads were not so great.
Yeah.
And to reach 50 kilometers, you had to, change 2 buses or 3 buses, and then you have to stay in one town, then again you get up and then you take another bus to go to Patna. Yeah, it was a long one.
It was a long journey. It was a long journey. Then you get to Delhi and you apply to one of our most prestigious acting schools, the National School of Drama.
No, actually, Trisha, I took an admission in Delhi University. My director of the Fable Ram Reddy is from a very posh St. Stephen College. Okay, I envy him for that. He's like a privileged one. I was in the Proletariat College, Ramjas College. Yeah. So, but for me, going to Delhi was for the purpose of getting into National School of Drama. You were very right. But I had to spend 3 years preparing for National School of Drama, right? And that was the only institute that was there, and that is the only institute still there. I mean, we could not, construct or build any more theatre institutes or drama institutes in our country. That's very sad. But 3 years, I did nothing. I was doing history honors. But 3 years, 16 hours, 18 hours, I've only done theatre, thought about theatre, and all my roommates were all preparing for UPSC. Yeah. And that is why I have so many friends in bureaucracy of our country, so many friends. Now some of them are going to retire. Please don't talk about my age now. Yeah, so after 3 years of graduation, I tried for National School of Drama. I failed. I was rejected. My world came completely crushing down, and I didn't know what to do because I don't know, by habit I don't like to have plan B. Because the moment, I personally feel that the moment you have plan B, you are a little relaxed about it. And but if you have only one plan, you like to give it all, you know. So I like to have no plan, but only one plan. That's it. And then I kept on. The 1 month was very, very hard. It was because I didn't have plan B. I didn't know anything else. I didn't know how to answer my parents, who, you know, coming from a lower middle class farmer's family, who had 6 children to feed, and I didn't have anything to write it to him. And the moment I started doing theatre outside National School Drama, then I wrote it to him saying that I'm very sorry. You wanted me to become a doctor, but this is what I want to do. And you know what he wrote back to me? He said, I'm your father and have been observing this about you since your childhood. I always knew that you want to become an actor, but I was fooling myself that I can fool you. That was the thing that he's written to me, my father. It was such a support for me, but a quiet support from Bihar. He didn't have the language he was not so eloquent, but whenever he used to write a letter to me, those days we used to write letters, right? And he used to write, his handwriting was very beautiful. And when he used to write letters to me, the letters used to read like poetry, you know. So that was something that I've learned from my father. My handwriting is very bad. My daughter's handwriting is very beautiful. But my father's letter is something that I always preserve till now. He was quite an encouraging force for me. Yeah.
And I assume that's what helped you deal with the failure, along with your own grit and determination. Or did you not regard it as failure, not getting into NST?
You know, what was the most comforting thing for me? That I didn't have to care about my parents. That because I knew that they were always with me in my failure, in my success. So I didn't have to care about that aspect of my life, and I could concentrate on my own self, my own journey. I knew that they would always stand by me, even if I was wrong, even if I was not doing well, even if I was going hungry, even if I didn't have money, you know. So there was a comforting feeling that, you know, in all my doing, they are there. Yeah.
And for someone who doesn't have a plan B, that safety net is important.
A safety net.
That emotional safety net.
Oh yes, you're right. Because you know, once you know that your parents are with you, they are not resenting you, they are not forcing you to do something else or to get married, or you know, and also you know that your friends around you are really supportive of you. So your job is just to focus on the job, or focus on your dream, focus on your craft, focus on what you're doing that day. You know, it really takes so much of load off your shoulder.
So you did that for a few years, you did theatre for a few years,
Right.
And then at some point you decided you wanted to go into films. How did that transition happen?
Trisha, I always wanted to be in films. That's why I went to Delhi. I went to Delhi for only one thing. I realized that, you know, if I go to Mumbai, there is nobody who knows me, and I'm not from a film family, so I don't have a safety net there. There is nobody who's going to mentor me. So I have to be so fully prepared that, you know, in future if I get any opportunity, I make complete use of it. So for that reason, I went to Delhi to do theatre. But I got so immersed into theatre that I forgot my dream of becoming a cinema actor. I never wanted to go to Mumbai and be part of the film industry. Never. I just forgot. I got reluctant about being a cinema actor completely. I always wanted to, you know, from that time onwards, I was so much in love with theatre that I didn't want to leave Delhi. And then Shekhar Kapoor happened, and he said, tomorrow if you get married and you fall sick, how are you going to feed your family? How are you going to treat yourself if you don't have money? So it's better that you leave from Mumbai. Whatever you will be doing, you will be getting paid for it. Theatre is not paying you anything. Rather, you are going hungry. Your passion is great. Some money has to come from somewhere. And that is when I decided to move to Mumbai. But I was lucky enough, like few of them, who got chosen by Shekhar Kapoor to be part of his film Bandit Queen.
Bandit Queen was quite the film, and it really got you a lot of success. But there was also Satya around the same time, a few years later, I think.
I mean, 5-6 years.
5-6 years later.
Yes.
But actually, before we go back to the acting and the characters, since we were talking about Delhi and Mumbai, I'm a Delhi girl, so I have to ask you, Delhi or Mumbai?
You know, Nasruddin Shah, our senior, he put it so well. He said, give me a city which has the people of Mumbai and the space of Delhi.
You really should be the diplomat. What a wonderful answer. Right, to go back to the acting, you have got quite an affinity for playing really complex and challenging characters. And kind of like I said in my introduction earlier, any character you play, you inhabit, you become that person. What's the process like? Can you talk us through your process of preparing for a film a little bit?
You know, when you are preparing for any role, the one basic thing which is always there for all the professional actors, that you read the script as many times as possible. You make physical notes, some mental notes, and you sit with your director, you talk to the director, you try to understand the vision of the director, and then, then you start preparing again. The only thing that you have to keep doing is flipping through the script, because this is where everything started from, and this is where it has originated from. So all the answers are there in the script. I always believe, even if the director is not talking to you, he's not ready to sit with you, if you read the script again and again, all the answers are there. You just have to find it. But in the case of the fable, I must tell you, this young man, Ram Reddy, he used to make me come to his place every day. And we used to sit down and read the script like I was a child in the school classroom. And every day I used to love it. I used to love it because, whenever a director is making me feel like a student, I love it. Because he's not happy or satisfied with whatever he has seen of me. Rather, he wants to break some more limitations. He wants me to go through things and find a new dimension of Manoj Bajpayee. I just love it, and Ram Reddy has done that, and the result is in front of you. Today, there was a review, Trisha, and I don't know, I don't cry easily, Harishi. I don't cry easily at all. But for something that touched me about that review, where suddenly Deepak Dobriyal was sitting there, and there were tears in my eyes when I was reading that review. It was not about the good things which was written about me. There were tears because he was Ram Reddy, who believed in me, and he pushed me, and he took me to a place which was unknown to me. And now because of that, people are giving me so much of love. So, no, I'm telling you, yeah, it is. And you guys are talking to me, I find it unbelievable that it all happened. Oh God, it is true. I mean, those days it was like, maybe, कोई हम मरेंगे तो कोई होगा कि नहीं उठाने के लिए.
Incredible. So, Bandit Queen and Rokal and Satya, from theatre to TV and films to OTT, that's been quite a pact, 30 years.
30 years.
Incidentally, it's also 30 years since the Tagore Center was established.
Really?
So that's a nice synchronicity. Wow. But what I've got to ask you is, how has the industry changed, particularly with the advent of things like OTT and streaming?
Okay, I mean, it has changed for some time, I would say, and I'm still observing. It's still a very early stage to talk about it. OTT has been completely supported and mentored by COVID. Okay? COVID has forced everyone to get locked down, and they were left only with one medium of entertainment and storytelling, that was, OTT. So didn't have any other option. And OTT was thriving. All kind of digital platforms or digital space was thriving. People were working from home. So we thought that is going to be the truth forever. But the demography is changing now. And it is again changing in a way that we are in a very confused state of mind right now. Some people say that we like people, we are not going to hire a space for office. We want our employees to work from home. And some companies are saying, no, few of the people can come to one office and we are going to only give rent to that one office. Similarly, in film industry, people are slowly going back to the theatre, but they want to go back to the theatre only for a certain kind of. There is a rarity like 12 Fail, which carries a good word of mouth, and that can't be the rule. We should be very careful. I am very careful. The one thing that has come out of it, that the South films, South Indian films have been doing well pan-India. But nobody knows one thing, that NTR and Allu Arjun were always very popular, even pre-COVID, in the villages of Haryana and Bihar, because film industry stopped entertaining or catering to the masses that used to go to the theatre earlier. Because single screens started shutting down and the prices started going up, Trisha. So that mass kept themselves away from the theatres, multiplexes, and they used to watch films on television. And most of these Telugu films, Tamil films, all pot boilers, were releasing on satellite in dubbed version, right? So NTR and Allu Arjun were very popular, much before Bahubali and RRR. Okay? I don't know why Hindi film industry woke up to this fact very late. It was, they were the people who were entertaining the villages, the small town audience. Or that audience, which for them, which was either the multiplex was very far, or the multiplex's prices were very high for their pocket. But now, after COVID, when the theatre opened, slowly when they are going back to the theatre, Hindi film industry makers should be very careful about one thing, that if the Telugu and Tamil films and Kannada films are popular with the Hindi film audience, they should go to the root cause of it. Their pot boilers, their mainstream films have the heroes which are coming from the masses, coming from the roots. They are talking about their villages. Their heroes are coming from the villages, from the middle class, from the lower middle class. So, if we don't care about that, then again there will be a crisis. Then we'll be trying to find a formula in Marvel films. Okay? And Marvel film kind of a situation in India can only work till a point. After that, you will stop investing money. The audience will stop, paying money for one kind of film all the time. Because the Marvel film has a certain formula. One star has done this kind of a Marvel film. The second star, big star, has done again a film which is very much like Marvel. But when the third star does the same thing, the audience will not pay. Again, there will be a crisis situation. So the only solution to it is that find your heroes and the stories from your villages, from your people, from the society that you come from. It has to, the heroes in Amitabh Bachchanji's era used to be an orphan. He was a larger than life character. but he was an orphan. He was an honest police officer. Okay, even if he was an alcoholic and sharabi, he was fighting a bigger battle. Okay, so our stories, our heroes should come from our own society, even if it is a mainstream film. And even if it has to be larger than life, it has to talk about, the story has to be about our society, or the characters from the society. I think we should go back and visit 70s. And this is where the answer lies.
Yeah. No, I think that's such a good point, because I think when you've got characters that are coming from the grassroots, that are coming from everyday society, there's greater resonance with people. I think that's what it is. It's about the resonance. And I think that resonance translates not just to the villages that they're born from, because that's what we've seen with a lot of this Telugu and Kannada cinema. It's, those characters may be coming from South India, but they're also appealing to North India. But equally, they also appeal to audiences abroad. And you've toured the world, you've been to festivals and things with your films. Have you seen that over the past 30 years, the reception for Indian films has changed internationally?
I mean, internationally, definitely. We started recognizing the fact that India is not only about the song and dances, right? India is also not about snake charmers and the elephant riders. India is about science. India is about the corporates. India is about startup. India is also about Ram Reddy's and Kanu Behr's, all of these people. India is also about Shekhar Kapoor. India is about, a good filmmaking place. India is all about that. We are telling stories. There's so many industries thriving in the same time. And if we are about mainstream cinema, we are also about independent cinema. And today, independent cinema is being made by so many people in our country. So many. I mean, look at Berlin. I mean, in this festival itself, if there is the Fable, which is doing the rounds, which is being talked about, there are other films, which are being shown. What is so great that I'm with Ram Reddy here from Karnataka, and there is Alu Arjun from mainstream cinema Telugu. We are all talking. We are all having fun. We are all rejoicing. So that's a great sight. That's a great sight. This is what we want. All the coexisting is the sign of a healthy democracy, right? And this is the kind of creative democracy I always wanted. And that night when I was standing with Ram on one hand, on this side, and Alu Arjun this side. Oh, what a beautiful sight that was. Okay, and then suddenly you have one filmmaker comes to me and says that he's from Nepal, and he's the only film which is failing in the competition. So it's a situation that you want to be part of, and you thank God that you are still relevant to see all of that.
Absolutely. And I think what you said is so important about, the fact that India is not just one story, it's a million different stories. And the more films that get to go to these festivals, the more the world can see that.
The only way we can do is let the creative minds fly. Let them fly, and they will surprise you. They will get you so much of pride if you let them fly. Let them fly. Give them wings. All the time.
Talking about flying and wings, I've got to dial it back to the Fable for a minute. You've spoken a lot about the process that Ram had you go through in the preparation for the Fable. Would you consider yourself a director's actor?
I'm only a director's actor. I know. I'm not an actor alone. I am always, no matter how young my director is, I'm always looking at his face after each and every take. Was it okay? Was it good? Should I do it again? There is always that doubt, and that doubt can only be cleared by the director, because it's his vision. It's his vision I'm part of. I'm trying to get all his ideas on the screen, and so his participation and his approval is the only validation I'm looking for at that point of time, and nobody else. Once he says, okay, let's move on, after that I don't even look back and look for any other approval validation at all, because eventually it's him, most cases written by him, visualized by him. It's his vision.
Yeah.
So his approval matters the most.
That's a great sentiment, that it's about staying true to the director's vision.
Yeah.
Now, you said something earlier, you don't like plan Bs.
No, I don't.
Do you like surprises?
We ain't that. If it is a gift, free gift, I love it.
I'm with you on that one, and let's hope that our audience is also with us on that one. Because I'm feeling a little spontaneous, and I think we should give everyone a little bit of a surprise. So, ladies and gentlemen, you've probably guessed this by now. Not only have we got the incredible Manoj Bajpayee here, we've also got the director of the film sat right there in the front row. Ram Reddy, and of course Mr. Pratap Reddy, who's one of the producers, and Miss Sun Min Park. But Ram, if you're up for it, and if you also like surprises, can we have you on stage? So Ram, I think I ought to introduce you. Even though Manoj has spoken so highly of you, I think we should give you a proper introduction. So Ram Reddy is an Indian film director and writer. He made his directorial debut with the 2016 Kannada film Tithi, which premiered at the 68th Locarno International Film Festival, where it won the Golden Leopard in the Filmmakers of the Present category, as well as the First Feature Award. It also won numerous awards at film festivals, including Palm Springs, Shanghai, Mumbai, and Marrakesh. It won the German Star of India Award for the Best Feature Film at the 13th Indian Film Festival in Stuttgart. And last but not least, at the 63rd National Film Awards, the film won the National Film Award for the Best Feature Film in Kannada. So we have on stage here multiple national awards in our presence between Manoj and yourself. Something of an underachiever, are we?
So sweet. Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, the first film, it went way better than we ever expected or hoped. I'm very, very fortunate. How Manoj was saying, give creative minds wings. As a young dreamer, I was unequivocally backed by my producers to fly. And I tried my level best every day to put my 200% into that faith. And step by step, it led me to being able to work with one of the people I admire the most in this world. So I'm so proud to be here. Thank you all for having me.
Question. Is he really a director's actor?
Absolutely. Manojji, firstly, yes, I'll get to that, but the magnetism that you feel when you're on set with him is palpable, not only to me, of course, because we're connected like heart to heart, soul to soul. I'm on the monitor, he's in front of the camera, and there's this umbilical cord between us that's constantly flowing. But every single person on set can feel an artist at work. And it like, as he speaks, I felt, as the conversation went on, you could feel the aura in the room, and there is this depth to his eyes. I can feel it while he's sitting right next to me. The best moment for me in my film is, oh my god, so sorry. Yeah, Berlin, alright. The best moment for me in the film, and even if you see the teaser, which is on the Berlinale website, is a shot where he's sitting in the living room and his wife Nandini sings the song Neharwa, and the camera it tracks into him slowly. That note that he hit, I can still not watch my film or my edit without crying every single time. And not just crying, I mean like really crying, you know, because he took something that I had in my mind and my heart and placed it in heaven somewhere, you know. So that's how I feel about it.
And what a beautiful result you've achieved together. Because that film is, it's stunning in so many ways. Stunning to look at visually, of course, because you've shot it on film, and that creates so much texture and really captures that sense of nostalgia like we were discussing earlier. But it's also about the memories that you're able to evoke in all of us, of our own childhoods, which is really quite a feat.
Thank you.
Would you tell us a little bit about the film itself, and you know what you can without giving away spoilers, and also what inspired it? Why did you decide to create something that was so nostalgic and whimsical?
Yeah, sure. The film, it's quite a beast. It's hard to describe, but I will try my level best. It's about a family, a happy family, who own this vast orchard in the Indian Himalayas. The owner of the orchard is Dev, and it starts on the onset of spring. His daughter comes home from boarding school, the family is reunited, but then as he's walking with his little son into the orchards on the first day of the operation in the orchards, he finds a tree that has been burnt down. So one of the apple blossom trees is burnt, and a few days later more trees are burnt, and he starts to wonder who is starting these fires and why, and the fires start to escalate as the film progresses. But as we go on with him in his journey, Dave's journey, we realize that, you know, maybe there's something else happening here, something more. And so I'll leave it at that, because I would love for everyone here, whenever, if they are interested after, you know, seeing the teaser and whatnot, to watch the film. But it's that something more that I kind of made this film for. I was searching for it. And there are some magical elements in the film. It's realistic, but it tries to reach for something more and something higher. And yeah.
I think it's got just enough magic in it to leave us with that feeling of optimism that we all carried in our hearts as kids. So I think you've done a wonderful job at capturing that.
Thank you.
The other thing that really struck me when I was watching the film was how big a role the setting plays in the film. So, you know, the family living in the Himalayas, in between 3 mountain ranges, I think, was it?
Yeah, it's
Teen
called
Pahad, right?
the Teen Pahad Estate, because of how vast it is.
Yeah.
Right.
And the mountains play quite a central role in the narrative. Did you intentionally set about creating an environment that reflects the emotional journey of the characters?
Yeah, absolutely, because the mountains, the Himalayas, they firstly like almost like these ancient beings. They're immortal in a way, and the souls that have wafted through there, the ones who have delved into themselves in those ranges, have reached something that perhaps we could say is almost magical. And so if we wanted to create magical elements, where better than a place where I would venture to say magic may really exist if we were to go out, you know, in some way, shape or form. It's in the air, you feel it. And I'm driving around the mountains and I'm like, wouldn't it be cool to just strap on a pair of homemade bird wings and just jump off a cliff? And the mountains don't laugh back at me. They're like, sure. You know? They're like, why not? So they just supported it. And then it built from there. I think I would like to take this opportunity, maybe we can tell this story together, the story about before we started shoot. about. So Manojji, I had met him, and I was fortunate to meet him for shoot at the Neem Keroli Baba Ashram. We met there, and Manojji was very keen to go to see Babaji's cave, and that was a personal dream of mine as well, and so we decided to go together. The day Manojji picked couldn't have been, in a way, worse. It was the worst weather you could imagine. It was a storm, like not even like rain. It was a storm. Shall I hand the mic over to you? Here you go. So we're in the storm.
And it was raining and it was very cold. It was winter time when we were supposed to start a shooting. So I told him that, because I'm a Kriya Yogi, Kriya Yoga follower and I'm initiated into it, so I would like to go and meditate in the cave of Babaji, who is our, master. So he said, no, I would like to come with you. And we went and we started climbing for 1 hour. And we reached the cave and it was drizzling. But we still didn't mind. We kept on talking, we kept on climbing, and we reached the cave. And I got into my meditation. He took a corner in that small cave and he started meditating. We opened our eyes after some time and he said, let's go. And as we looked outside the cave, it was all white. The mountain was covered with white, and there was snow all over. In that half an hour, 45 minutes, it snowed so much, and we felt the divine intervention there. We felt some kind of a connection. We felt that this is an indication to something else. Okay? We felt that energy. As we were climbing down, I said, Ram, I think I got the note for my character. He said, I think I have got it too. So that's the film is also talking about some abstract, mystical thing. But I really think that this film became possible only because of Babaji's blessing. I personally believe that. Because it all started from there.
That is such a beautiful story. I was going to ask you a couple more questions about film festivals and the business of filmmaking. I think that's the perfect note to end this conversation on. That's a beautiful story. And I think hopefully that's given everyone incentive to go and watch this film. I believe there's one last screening left. Is that on the
24th?
24th. So I would really encourage you all to make sure you get in there quick, book your tickets.
Even if you're getting stairs, please go and sit there. Please, that will make a great show.
It's a beautiful film, and I highly recommend that everyone go and watch it. You really won't be disappointed. But on that perfect sur, I think what I must now do is invite our ambassador, Shri Harishji, to please come on stage and close this evening with a few words.
Friends, what you've just heard for the last 45 minutes is a slice of India of two different generations, and aspirations of 1 billion people best captured and encapsulated in the life journey of Mr. Manoj Bajpayee, literally from the village to Bollywood stardom, passing through various phases of his own creative journey and endeavor. Yet, the dynamism, the drive, the initiative, and the desire to do well. And at the end of it all, not forgetting his roots, his Indianness, his connection to the village, to his parents, and most importantly, to his friends and fraternity from the village who are very much a part of his worldview. On the other end, you have a young director like Ram Reddy, a product of St. Stephen's, not from a village, yet a very creative soul, the young India, very dynamic also, with his own worldview, collaborating with Manoj Bajpayee, and bringing forth a fantastic product. This represents the dynamism, the initiative of the youth of India, and experiences of an earlier generation, like myself and Mr. Bajpayee, where opportunities were limited, the world was not globalized, there was no internet, and in places in India, even television was not widely prevalent. Yet, storytelling was very much a part of our civilization. Back from the Harappan civilization till now, storytelling, communicating through art, communicating through dance, communicating through music, through dance dramas, are so intrinsic that it was only a question of time that films became a technical medium to continue this long civilizational tradition. Thank you, Manojji, for your presence. You have been a great inspiration, and it has been almost like watching a movie hearing you. And thank you, man.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your wise words, and thank you, Ram and Manoj, for making this evening so special. I think we've all been left feeling not just entertained, but also enriched hearing your stories. Thank you so very much. Before I close this evening, I must give a big shout out to my dear friend, colleague, and the head of the Berlin chapter of the DIG, as well as all of the members of the DIG board here. So Mr. Stefan Beutner, as well as members of the DIG board, for supporting this event and helping us make it happen. Thanks a ton, Stefan. You've stepped in and helped us out when we needed it, and I really appreciate it. Now, of course, can I please invite you all to join us in the foyer for refreshments. Thank you all.